Terrifier 3. Yay. Right then. A lot of people want to see me review this. Apparently. I don't get this. I really don't. I really do. Okay. Terrifier 3. More of the same. Art the Clown's back in Terrifier 3, and I sat with a full audience for a screening that is probably the most begrudgingly I've ever forked out money for a ticket, but I did, and it was a full screening, and I sat with this audience of demented, deranged lunatics who lapped up every moment of this film and were whooping and hollering and laughing, a lot of laughter in this film. Much appreciation for the antics of Art the Clown here. Which I find quite disturbing, if I'm perfectly honest. I find it even more disturbing that a film like this gets such a reaction when a film that is actually pretty damn good and has a lot of stuff to say, like Joker Folie à Deux, is panned as the worst comic book movie of all time. Totally nonsensical to me, but okay, this is the world we live in. One of the most interesting things about this film was the fight that occurred after the show between two women, one of whom was drunk and didn't stop talking for most of the film, which unfortunately I didn't hear. Apparently she was at the back nattering on. It may have been more entertaining, to be honest, but yeah, another woman took a dislike to this and didn't kind of make that known until right at the end of the film, after the credits had rolled, and then I sat back with what was left of my popcorn and watched them go at it. That was pretty entertaining. But the film itself, yes, the positives. Let's go with the positives. The music. Okay, the end titles music. I really liked the music on the end credits. I thought that was a great piece of music that I will actually listen to. I will go to Spotify and I will download it and I will listen to it if it's on there, if the soundtrack is on there. Hopefully it is. This has a heightened budget to the other two films. These have got progressively more expensive. I think that is most notable in this film in terms of performance. I think director Damien Leone is able to hire from a much deeper pool talent, shall we say. Even the small performers in this, the very bit parts, feel a lot more natural to me in their performance. I buy them more. I'm not really sitting there at any point during this going, oh, like everyone on screen for the most part does a pretty good job. I mean, the kid who plays the brother, Sienna's brother, is still, well, what he was in the second film, which wasn't particularly outstanding. But again, that's a remnant of the second film, so you're kind of stuck with the actor that you introduce there, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, that's all better. I think that the cinematography is better, but I also think that actually there was certain things they were able to do in part two that did feel more cinematic to me. In some ways, I feel that this is scaled back. At the end of the second film, we went into that theme park that was, allowed for a lot of horrors and stuff. Admittedly, again, it's still on a budget, so it wasn't like we didn't see all these massive rides and things like that, But there was a party scene, I remember, as well in the second one, where the room was just filled with extras and the camera was gliding through and it was kind of in slow motion. There was stuff going on, and I thought cinematically that was visually quite striking. So here, we're on a par, I guess, with the second one, visual-wise, in terms of what Leone is doing with the camera. But certainly, like I said, the talent pool has improved. I think that the lore as well has started to become more... you get what's going on. I think we finally get to grips with who or what Art the Clown actually is in this film. So if they're the questions you've been asking that have been burning away at you ever since the first one, then I think you're going to get answers in this film in terms of that. They're not exactly burning questions for me, because this obviously isn't a franchise I'm particularly fond of. And you may ask, well, then, Bryan, why do you go and watch it when you knowingly hate the franchise? And why are you sat here reviewing it now if you knowingly hate the franchise? Well, I had to watch it for this year's 31 on 31. So if I'm going to put myself through such torture, then I may as well reap some kind of benefit from it, which is, you know, views on my channel, I guess, for people who want to see the pain and suffering that I go through for the sake of certain things. Any more positive? Like, there was a couple of scenes that I thought were effectively handled with Art the Clown. A figure that I just don't like. As a, you know, everybody celebrates him these days as a modern horror icon, as you know, as if that's like be all and end all. And fine, whatever, it's not my bag, but there are a couple of sequences in here that did actually manage to raise a chuckle, and so far these films have been chuckle-free for me, absolutely chuckle-free. And I don't know if it was just because I was in a theatre full of people, so I was kind of, you know, their reaction was rubbing off on me a little bit. Had I watched this in the comfort of my own home, maybe not, but it was what it was. I got some chuckles, and most notably that was from a scene in which Art spots a Santa Claus through a window, and the excitement on his face when he sees him, well, first it caused people in the auditorium to laugh, in the theatre to laugh, and like I say, I chuckled. I actually, once I was tuned in to what the audience was thinking, hearing their laughter and seeing Art's ridiculous facial expressions on the screen as he gets excited by Santa, obviously for different reasons to what a kid might do. For him, it's all about the fun of being. Oh, I get to mess with Santa. I get to kill Santa. You know, and it's like, yeah, you see that kiddie-like excitement on his face, and it did somewhat raise a chuckle, but yeah, I mean it's not a laugh riot or anything. As for the negatives, well, I mean I could sit here and just go through the entire film. I mean that would be spoiler territory, but it's so full of them, as with the previous two. It's just not my bag, okay? I hate this type of horror, of sticking people in a situation where a killer just goes to work on them, and we sit there and we watch it. Almost, I feel like Alex in A Clockwork Orange, who's been forced in front of a screen with his eyes pinned open, and yeah, it's torturous. Like, I like horror films, I like slasher films, but they're usually quick. You know, when the kills come, they're quick, they're to the point. Job done, we move on. Here, it's about the torture. It's not even about the kill. It's not about the person getting killed. It's about the prolonging of that process. And it's like, I don't personally understand why anybody wants to be part of that process in this way. And I feel like these films make you complicit. So you either go along with it and you're like, yay! Or like me, you're out straight away. Some people might say, oh, Bryan, it's just a movie. You need to learn to have fun. Really? Okay. My ideas of fun somewhat differ, it seems, to a lot of other people's. But yeah, sitting there watching someone be brutally tortured and then eventually murdered at the end of it all is not my idea of fun. The special effects are fantastic for that kind of thing. If you like that kind of thing, which I don't, so I just sit there cringing, which you're supposed to do. You see this stuff, I think you're supposed to cringe at it. It's supposed to make you clench up. The guy that was sat right next to me every time one of the scenes would come on, so literally most of the film, he was like this. He wasn't even watching it. And I was like, yeah, mate, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. If you've seen the first two films, it's that, just more. It's that again. That's all it is. It's just, yes, we do get a bit more of an expansion of the law sandwiched in between these scenes of brutal murder and bloody torture, some of which is against kids. Now, we never, thankfully, thank God, we never linger on anything to do with kids. When that comes, it's usually quick and off screen or shot in such a way that we're not going to get right in there. But we do still see the aftermath of that. And as someone with kids, I don't find any of that amusing. I just, the audience did. They laughed at a particular scene involving a whole bunch of children, which, again, to me, I don't know why you're laughing. I'm not in on the joke. Sorry, I've nowhere else to go. Quite frankly, this was a torturous, laborious affair, which is the best of the three. Which shows you what I think of the previous two. Look, it was over quicker than the second film. The second film was painfully long. The first film was, again, like, so low budget and so lacking in certain talent and just grimy and dirty in every way that, yeah, if I've got to pick one that I'd have to watch again, it would be this one. The Christmas setting helps. I do like films set at Christmas. I like the law, okay? I don't mind the law. It's just everything that's sandwiched in between it that goes to excess puts me off that. If they did what like Mel Gibson did with Passion of the Christ, where he released a toned down version, where it just made it less of that, so that we could just have the story and less of all the ickiness, then I might actually get something out of this. But it isn't, so I don't. So I'm done. Hopefully never have to come back. I know there's going to be a fourth one. Clearly, the ending of this one is set up for that, but count me out. Yeah. Okay, that's me, done. What about you? Do you like the Terrifier films? If so, why? Which one do you think is the best? Leave your comments down below. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, cracking.